Welcome to Everyday English Sips, where I keep you updated with the hot breaking news from all around the world in an easy and fun way. So grab your favorite snacks and drinks, and let's explore. Today's story is about one of the most powerful and most controversial leaders in Asia, Hun Sen of Cambodia. He ruled the country for nearly 40 years. And even now, after stepping down, his shadow still remains. But behind the power are dark questions about corruption, Chinese-backed deals, and even human trafficking. And now there's a border conflict with Thailand, raising the question, is this real? Or just another political trick to stay in control? Let's dive into this powerful story of war, survival, and the game of nationalism. One, a humble beginning. Hun Sen, whose birth name was Hun Manet, was born on the 5th of August 1952 in a small village called Pin Kayo Sna, Kampong Cham province. He was the third of 6 children of Hun Niang and Dian. Father, Hun Niang, previously a monk who joined the French resistance, later turned farmer. The family owned several hectares and some Chinese heritage assets, but were forced to sell much after a kidnapping incident. Mother, Dian, a rural village woman with limited formal education. Hun Sen had 5 siblings, including older and younger brothers and sisters, although none became prominent in politics. Despite a modest background, Hun Sen left home at 13 to attend monastic school in Phnom Penh, later changing his name to Rithi Sen and then Hun Sen. Two, the escape and the return. In the early 1970s, Hun Sen joined the Khmer Rouge forces, changing names to conceal identity. By the fall of Phnom Penh in 1975, he was wounded in combat and lost sight in one eye. He rose to battalion commander in the eastern region, commanding around 2,000 troops. Though some human rights groups suspect he may have been involved in violence during this time, including a massacre of Khmer Muslims, Hun Sen denies such charges, saying he had distanced himself from central orders by 1975 to 1977. As internal purges began in 1977, Hun Sen and his unit defected to Vietnam, escaping Khmer Rouge execution. He received the Vietnamese codename Mai Phac and became a key figure in Vietnamese-sponsored rebel armies that ousted the Khmer Rouge in 1979. At age 26, he became foreign minister, and by 1985, he was appointed prime minister. 3. A man who stayed in power. Hun Sen promised peace and rebuilding, and in the early years, many Cambodians believed him. But over time, he didn't just lead Cambodia, he controlled it. In 1997, Hun Sen made a bold and violent move. At the time, he shared power with another leader, Prince Norodom Ranariddh, the son of Cambodia's king. They were part of a coalition, but tensions rose. Hun Sen accused Ranariddh of working with the Khmer Rouge behind the scenes. Then he sent in his loyal troops. It was called a coup in everything but name. Prince Ranariddh was forced out, and Hun Sen became the undisputed ruler. But Ranariddh wasn't his only rival. In the 2000s and 2010s, a new opposition leader rose to popularity, Sam Rainsy. He led the Cambodia National Rescue Party, CNRP, and gained huge support, especially among young Cambodians and people in the cities. They were tired of corruption. They wanted change. Sam Rainsy spoke loudly against Hun Sen's rule, calling it a dictatorship exposing land grabs, and even accusing the government of being controlled by foreign business interests. In response, Hun Sen's government charged Sam Rainsy with defamation and treason. He was forced into exile multiple times. When he tried to return to Cambodia in 2019, Hun Sen ordered airlines to block him from boarding. In 2017, just months before a national election, Hun Sen's government banned the entire opposition party, the CNRP. Over 100 opposition politicians were removed. The ruling CPP won every single seat in parliament. Independent media outlets were also shut down. Newspapers like the Cambodia Daily and Radio Free Asia's office were closed. Social media became the only place for dissent, but even there, people were watched. From that moment on, Cambodia became a one-party state in everything but name. Hun Sen didn't just win elections. He removed his enemies, controlled the press, and changed the laws to protect himself, all while claiming to protect stability. 4. Dark money and shadow deals. As Hun Sen's rule deepened, serious corruption allegations emerged. 4.1 Land and resource deals. A 2016 Global Witness report estimated Hun Sen and his inner circle amassed between US $500 million and $1 billion through land concessions, logging, and mineral rights. Global Witness, 2018, and other NGOs reported CPP-linked senators involved in multi-million-dollar deals in smuggling, tobacco, casinos, and illegal logging. 4.2 Scam and gambling industry linked to Chinese-backed groups. Cambodian cities like Sihanoukville became hubs for online scam centers, casinos, and human trafficking, often run by Chinese nationals. Despite a 2019 gambling ban, these industries continued under protection of elites. A UNODC-affiliated map described Cambodia as a global center of scamming, implicating Hun Sen's relatives and ruling party figures. One nephew of Hun Sen is accused of embezzling over US $49 billion in digital assets since 2021 via the Huion Group, a firm sanctioned by the U.S. for corruption and money laundering. 4.3 Sanctions and international scrutiny. The U.S. imposed sanctions on Lai Yong-fat, a senior CPP-linked tycoon and Hun Sen's personal advisor, for alleged trafficking and cyberscam center abuses under the Global Magnitsky Act. The U.S. Treasury cited labor exploitation, forced reselling of victims, electric shocks, and deaths within scam operations. Many such centers were linked to government complicity. Most recently, in July 2025, Cambodia arrested over 1,000 suspects linked to cross-border cyber scams, many run by foreign gangs operating with apparent state tolerance. Amnesty International labeled it human trafficking with state complicity. 4.4 Individuals tied to Hun Sen's elite. Kok An, a powerful Cambodian senator and businessman close to Hun Sen, controls casinos, smoke shops, hotels, and has been tied to cyber scams and human trafficking incidents in Poipet and Sihanoukville. Teng Buma and Sok Kong, early backers of Hun Sen, built monopolies through oil, import licenses, casinos, and were tied to the 1997 coup. Both benefited from land deals and patronage politics. 4.5 Bans or travel restrictions. Hun Sen himself has not been officially banned from traveling abroad. However, several CPP-connected individuals, like Lai Yong-fat and others tied to scam centers, face U.S. sanctions and travel restrictions as of 2024-2025. 5. Family empire, business, media, and military control. As Cambodia entered the 21st century, Hun Sen's power shifted from politics to personal empire building. Today, the Hun family is not just a political dynasty. It is the backbone of Cambodia's economy, media, and security. Business and economic control. A Global Witness report called it a stranglehold on Cambodia's economy. The family controls over 114 companies, with stakes in nearly every profitable sector, from gambling and construction to agriculture and mining. These businesses have links to major global brands like Apple, Visa, Nestle, and Honda. Hun Manet, Hun Sen's eldest daughter, reportedly controls 22 companies, including Billionaire Media, the country's main pro-government TV and radio network. Media and information control. Through Billionaire Media, the family controls 3 national TV stations, major radio channels, and local newspapers. This network amplifies the government's messages and suppresses dissenting voices. Independent outlets like the Cambodia Daily and Voice of Democracy were shut down under Hun Sen's rule, often under vague tax or ethics violations, especially around election seasons. Military and security influence. Important security posts are held by his family and allies. For example, General Nef Savan, head of the National Police until 2023, is married to Hun Sen's niece. In 2017, Savan and his immediate family were banned from entering the U.S. for undermining democracy. Additionally, Hun-aligned commanders like Rat Shring led brutal suppression of protests. These gendarme forces were praised by family-owned media for defending stability. Six, passing power and the border conflict returns. In 2023, Hun Sen did something unexpected. After nearly 4 decades in power, he announced that he would step down, but not really retire. Instead, he passed the role of prime minister to his son, Hun Manet, a U.S.-educated military leader and economics Ph.D. from the UK. This wasn't a democratic handover, it was dynastic succession. We've had peace, stability, and growth. Now it's time for the next generation, Hun Sen said. But critics saw this as father-to-son power transfer, not real change. And just as Hun Manet stepped into office, a storm was brewing. The border conflict returns. In mid-2025, tensions exploded at the Cambodia-Thailand border. Skirmishes between troops, accusations of betrayal, and images of crying families filled social media. But here's the twist. This wasn't the first time. Cambodia has had repeated border disputes with neighbors, especially Thailand and Vietnam. From the Preah Vihear Temple crisis in 2008 to 2011 to smaller military clashes, the line between nationalism and political strategy has always been blurry. So why do these border disputes keep returning? Many believe it's not just about land, it's about power and popularity. When citizens are angry about corruption, scams, or poverty, a border crisis can rally national pride and distract public attention. It turns focus away from rising Chinese crime rings, online scams, and growing inequality, and instead toward an emotional cause, protecting our land. Hun Sen used this tactic in the past during elections or after international criticism. Now, his son seems to be walking the same path. A nationalism playbook. In July 2025, former Cambodian soldiers claimed betrayal from inside. Some reports said they were ordered into risky positions without support. Others leaked photos of dead soldiers, burning houses, and chaos at the front lines. Thai media showed footage of their own side preparing defenses. But what's striking is the language both governments used. We are defending national sovereignty. We will not back down. The result? Emotional public support, especially online. Flags waved, enemies blamed. But the real story was murkier. Some experts believe the conflict was exaggerated or even engineered to boost Hun Manet's image as a strong protector of Cambodia. Seven. Lives on opposite sides, civilians versus Hun family. Let us take a moment to look beyond the powerful and meet the real Cambodia, the ordinary people who live very different lives from those at the top. A family's struggle. Across Cambodia, especially in rural provinces, many families struggle daily to afford food. According to a recent Gallup survey, 58% of Cambodians said they couldn't always afford enough food. For the poorest 20%, that number jumped to 87%. Only 6% of people said they are living comfortably on their income. Cambodia has one of the largest gaps between rich and poor in the world. Even though the economy grew rapidly for 2 decades, tens of thousands remain trapped in poverty. In 2019, about 18% of the population lived below the national poverty line. Many rural households lack clean water, sanitation, or access to schools and clinics. Children working instead of learning. Education is often a luxury. In many rural areas, children, some under 10, must work full-time to support their families. Only 45% of working children still attend school. Tuition and informal fees mean that education comes with a cost. Health is also fragile. In remote provinces like Ratanakiri, life expectancy can be as low as 43 years for women and 39 for men. Malnutrition, malaria, and waterborne diseases remain common. Contrast that with the elite circle around Hun Sen. By 2016, Global Witness estimated Hun Sen's personal wealth at between US $500 million and $1 billion, much of it tied up in land grabs, business monopolies, and government contracts. Hun family members and trusted cronies control key sectors, from media and casinos to agriculture and security. Many live in gated homes, send their children abroad to school, and travel on private jets. Let's imagine 2 parallel worlds. In one, a Cambodian mother worries whether there will be rice on the table each night and whether her children will have a chance to study. In the other, the country's leaders gather profits from land, gambling licenses, and scam-backed industries, all while claiming to serve the people. That gap is Cambodia today, a story not always told on Twitter or in government speeches, but it's real. This is not a political rant, it's a human contrast. It reminds us, when leaders hold immense power and wealth, while ordinary people struggle for basic needs, the narrative of national progress becomes hollow. Hun Sen's family may appear as stabilizers of a nation, but the majority of Cambodians face insecurity, inadequate services, and limited opportunity. I hope you found this video helpful and that it gave you a deeper understanding of Cambodia, its leadership, its military, and the narratives we often see online. This isn't about taking sides, but I do believe it's important to question the idea that Cambodia is always the victim. Sometimes the truth is far more complex than what we're told. Everything I've shared today comes from multiple reliable sources, including Reuters, AP News, Global Witness, and respected independent journalists. I've included all the links in the description below, so you can check them out for yourself. If this video gave you new insight, please consider sharing it with your friends. The more we understand the truth, the better decisions we can all make together. Whether you agree or disagree, I'd truly love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation open, honest, and above all, respectful. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.